Ever accidentally post something on social media you wish you could take back? Maybe a little embarrassing?
Oh, yeah.
Well, imagine it's not a goofy selfie, but a comment that could land you in legal trouble.
Ouch.
That's the situation we're diving into today. Former President Trump might have just handed prosecutors more ammunition, and it's all thanks to a casual podcast interview.
And what's so fascinating here is the context. This isn't a courtroom confession. This is Trump on a podcast aimed at his base. It's like he let his guard down, and in doing so, he might have incriminated himself.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Who knows, but it's definitely got people talking.
So let's get into it. The clip in question revolves around Mike Pence in the 2020 election. Trump says Pence couldn't cross the line when it came to overturning the results.
And it's that casualness that makes it so legally significant.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just expressing an opinion. He's providing a window into his state of mind, his potential intent to interfere with the election process.
See, that's what throws me. It's not like he was under oath or giving a formal statement, so why is this such a big deal legally?
This is where things get really interesting. You see, this off-the-cuff comment feeds into a larger pattern we've seen with Trump. The Georgia indictment, the January 6th investigations, even special counsel Jack Smith's investigations, all hinge on proving intent.
So are you saying that these seemingly harmless statements could actually be used against him?
Exactly. Legal analyst Michael Popak actually refers to this clip as Exhibit A.
Wow, Exhibit A. That's pretty damning.
It really goes to show how seemingly harmless statements can be used by prosecutors to build a case.
Okay, so let's unpack this whole crossing the line thing. What do you think Trump meant by that? What line was he pressuring Pence to cross?
Well, this goes back to the alleged pressure campaign on Pence to overturn the election results. Trump, Giuliani, and others were allegedly trying to find creative interpretations of the Electoral College process.
You mean they were trying to exploit loopholes?
Basically. Their goal was to use any means necessary to delay the certification of the election, cast doubt on its legitimacy, and potentially even overturn the results.
And Pence was supposed to be the guy to just go along with it, even if it meant bending the rules.
It seems that way. But it was a highly contested strategy. Legal experts were divided on whether Pence actually had the authority to do what Trump was asking.
So we have Trump pushing this cross-the-line narrative, immense pressure on Pence to comply, and a whole lot of legal ambiguity surrounding the Electoral College process.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets really interesting because thankfully Pence sought legal counsel.
He did.
And not just from anyone, but from a prominent conservative legal scholar, J. Michael Luttig.
Right.
Now, this is key because Luttig is a highly respected figure, particularly within conservative legal circles. If anyone was going to sway Pence, it would be someone like him.
And Luttig advised Pence that he had absolutely no legal authority to overturn the election results. To do so, he argued, would violate the very Constitution Pence had sworn to uphold.
So basically, Luttig stepped in and said, hold on a minute, we're about to cross a major line here, and it's not going to be pretty.
Precisely. He provided Pence with the legal cover, and perhaps even the courage to resist the immense pressure he was facing from Trump and his allies.
It's incredible to think how one person, in this case Luttig, can have such a huge impact on history.
It really is. Luttig's guidance to Pence really highlights how fragile our democracy is and how important it is for people to uphold the rule of law, even when they're under immense pressure.
This whole cross-the-line thing, it wasn't just about loyalty to Trump, though, right? It was about pushing Pence to potentially violate the Constitution.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing is that this expectation of unwavering loyalty, even if it means bending or breaking the rules, it's something we've seen from Trump before.
You're right. Didn't Popak also talk about the firing of Attorney General Jeff Sessions? Wasn't that a loyalty thing, too?
Exactly. Trump demands loyalty. And when Sessions recused himself from the Russia investigation, he was viewed as disloyal. And, well, we know what happened there.
Yeah, he was out the door.
And there are reports of other officials who face that same pressure to put Trump's personal interests above their constitutional duties. It really raises questions about how Trump views the presidency and its limits.
It's like he thought being president was like running his businesses, where loyalty is everything. But running a country isn't the same as a company. There's a whole different level of responsibility.
You're absolutely right. The presidency demands upholding the Constitution and putting the nation's interests first, not just the president's own interests.
So what we're seeing here is a pattern. Trump demands total loyalty, even if it means crossing ethical or legal lines. And Pence refusing to cross that line really brings that pattern to light.
And let's not forget, this wasn't just about Pence or Sessions. Trump demanded loyalty from everyone in his administration, which created this culture where being loyal to him seemed more important than their constitutional duty. And that's a scary thought.
This is all so disturbing. Where do you see this going? What could happen because of this Exhibit A comment?
Well, Popak mentioned that this clip could be a problem for Trump with the other investigations into his actions. It could be used as evidence in court, which could really help prove obstruction of justice or abuse of power.
So this isn't just a juicy soundbite for the media to sensationalize. This could actually have some serious legal consequences.
Exactly. And what's really striking is that these aren't accusations coming from Trump's political enemies. These are his own words said without thinking that could come back to bite him.
It's like he sets himself up. Even when he's talking to his own supporters, he gives the other side more reasons to go after him.
It's really quite remarkable. Even comments made casually outside of a formal setting can have major legal repercussions. This case is a prime example of that.
It's a good reminder for everyone, really. Anything you say can be recorded and used against you. You never know what might come back to haunt you.
Especially in the age of social media. Everything spreads so fast and stays around forever. It's a double-edged sword, that's for sure.
This whole situation with Trump's cross-the-line comment and its potential legal trouble, it's really got me thinking. It's a wild mix of law politics and the weight words carry in today's world. But before we go too far down that road, let's step back and look at the bigger picture for a second.
Good idea. I think it's important to keep in mind that while Trump's words have definitely created a lot of buzz and speculation, the legal process is still going on, and ultimately it's up to the courts to decide if he's in trouble or not.
That's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in what everyone else is saying, but we need to let the justice system do its job.
Right. And regardless of what happens with these investigations, I think this whole situation reminds us how important truth, accountability, and the rule of law are in a democracy. Those are principles we should all try to live by no matter what side of the aisle we're on.
You said it. So in a nutshell, what's the most important thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this? What's the key takeaway? What's the one big takeaway? I think it's that words matter. Like, they really, really matter. Especially when you're someone like Donald Trump. All those unguarded comments, all those impulsive things he says, yeah, those could come back to bite him legally.
It's like that old saying, truth will out. Sometimes it feels like Trump can't help but tell on himself.
It's true.
A careless comment here. A tweet fired off in the heat of the moment there. It all adds up.
And it could end up being the most compelling evidence against him.
Exactly.
This whole thing is like a case study in how much weight words have and how those digital footprints we leave behind can come back to haunt us. I mean, it's a wild world we live in. Everything is recorded. Everything is analyzed. It really makes you think twice before you say anything.
It really does. We're all just one hot mic moment away from our own crossing the line experience.
Yeah.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. Well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive into the world of law, politics, and saying a little too much in the digital age. Until next time, everyone stay informed and watch what you say out there. You never know who's listening.